Welcome, everyone. I'm Laura DeFranco, the CEO of Brave Healer Productions, and that's where we have a mission to wake the world up to what is possible. And here today to help me with that mission is one of the most amazing author experts of a new book that we have coming out. This book is called Love Warriors, the Conscious Expert's Guide to Healing, Joy, and Manifestation. Phil Tavolacci, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. It's good to be here, Laura.
This is so fun. Oh my gosh, you
Yes.
guys. Phil Tavolacci. I could say so many things about him, but I'll read his bio instead for now. He is a multi-potentialite working in the realms of healing, art, and life optimization. He's so not telling you all the rest in that bio. Oh my
Well, you
goodness.
said one sentence. That's all I could
know.
say.
I did. I limited you guys. So first of all, thank you so much. Thanks for being willing to share your story in this book and for really the master teachings that you're dropping as well. You know that this book is full of awareness practices like yours that I think are going to transform people's lives. Would you share a little bit about your chapter with us?
Sure. I wrote a chapter called You Are an Artist, Unleash the Genius Within. And basically, I was inspired to share this just because I have been an artist my whole life. It's been quite a journey. I really didn't fully express it or decide to express it until very recently. But it's always been deep within and impacting all aspects of my life. And I know that I'm not unique. I know that everyone, every human, innately is highly creative, is actually a creative genius. It's all within us. It just shows up in a multitude of different ways and forms and mediums. But like me, a lot of people, don't grasp it, or I should say, kind of push it away or resist it. Like, oh, I'm not an artist. I don't have a creative bone in my body. Or, I'm played around a little bit in this or that when I was a kid, but, I'm a grown up now. I have responsibilities. And so I really wanted to just write from the heart, a little bit about my journey, and also hopefully inspire some individuals to take out the pen, take out the paintbrush, take out, whatever it is that calls them from a heart and soul level to create, because we're meant to put beautiful and incredible and thought-provoking things into the world. That's part of the journey. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh my gosh, yes. So I remember when I was a kid, the belief for me was, well, my sister got the art card. And so that must have meant that I didn't get any of it, right? And I mean, I consider my writing my art big time, but most people think, okay, well, I can do one thing, but I can't paint, or I can't sculpt, or I can't draw, or I can't whatever, fill in the blank. And turns out like I had some other talents as well. I just never explored because of that belief. That's, what a bummer for people to not be able to explore it just because they grew up thinking it wasn't there.
Yeah.
Was that partially you too?
Which part? What was the question specifically?
When did you know you were an artist?
So I always was doodling and drawing in my notebooks. I realized at a very early age that in class, if I was drawing or doodling, I was like a sponge. I could absorb absolutely everything. I had like a photographic memory. But the moment I didn't do that, if I, tried to push it away and think, no, you're in school, you're supposed to focus, you're supposed to concentrate, I didn't absorb anything. So I just figured I'm just going to draw, all the time. And so all of my notebooks throughout, elementary, middle, high school, college, graduate school are all full of artwork. But still, when people would approach me and say, oh, you're an artist, I would always say, not really, I just kind of doodle well. It's not really who I am or what I do. It's just, something I do to make my funky brain work more optimally. So it really wasn't until very recently that I declared to myself, yes, you are an artist. And honestly, the recent global situation was an opportunity to kind of hit pause on all of the responsibilities of life. Well, not all, but kind of go in a slightly more relaxed direction. And I was just devouring art videos on YouTube and taking workshops and reading art books. And I got over my own belief system that all I can do is doodle and draw. And I decided to delve into the world of paint. So it was really brand new, learning how to paint on a canvas. Um, and so, yes, I wrote that chapter, but this is new to me as well in a certain way, because I'm going into a medium that's completely new to me.
I love that part of your story talking about the doodling was helping your mind learn. And I hope people are paying attention, teachers especially, you
Yeah,
know?
I was very lucky that I don't recall ever having a teacher try to stop me or tell me not to do that. I think they just recognize, here's a straight A student and he's figured himself out. I'm pretty sure that nowadays I probably would be diagnosed or slapped with a label, and it may have been a whole different story. So I'm really grateful for the way that it unfolded and what
Yeah.
it taught me about myself.
Yes. Yeah, I want, I don't know, there's just something important about that, to open up more of your mind and allow kids to absorb in any way that they can absorb. And we have so many rules that restrict that, right? And that's, I think, why I love that piece of your story so much. So, when I created the idea of love warriors, I wanted part of that definition to be about showing up, knowing that our vulnerability is one of our strengths.
Absolutely.
And that was one way I defined it. So Phil, why are you a love warrior?
I think I'm a love warrior just because I come from kind of a foundation of every action I take, every word that I speak, everything I do, I try to come from a place of love, not from a place of fear or a place of judgment or anything else. And so when you had mentioned that the book was going to be coming out, this is a title and a topic that immediately spoke to me. And I feel like the healing work I do in the treatment room comes from a place of love. The art that I am wanting to do and put out into the world comes from a place of love. Everything I do is rooted in love. So it really spoke to me.
So, that's a lifelong practice, and it takes something to get to the point where you use the moments of your life to practice that. And of course, some days are harder than others, right? So,
Yes.
how do you how do you do that on the tough days?
Yeah, I realize it's a choice in the moment. And I've had a lot of experience in my life, like I'm sure you have, and everyone else that's watching this has, where you're tested and really pushed. And if you can just pause for, a breath or two and just check in, with what you're feeling, what's going on in your body, what's going on in your consciousness. And then you always have the opportunity to make a choice. And so in the past, I, maybe didn't choose love all the time, or I chose it less frequently. I chose to get freaked out or, combative or irritated, or, any of the myriad of options that we can choose. But now at 50 years old and a little bit more experience, I now tend to choose at the other end of the spectrum. I choose to look at every situation as a teaching, a learning, an unfolding. Like, what is this here to teach me? What's the purpose of this, seemingly horrible or frustrating or triggering situation? And I can't say that 10 times out of 10 I choose love, but 8 or 9 times out of 10, it's a more immediate response now. And it has been a journey. It's definitely uh, been a zigzag roller coaster ride. And again, I'm not unique there. I think that's everyone's journey.
Yeah, no doubt. You're an amazing artist, but you also have quite a background as a healer. What do you want people to know about that part of your life?
Oh gosh. Well, I mean, I think I went into the healing world to attempt to heal myself first. I had a lot of traumas and injuries in childhood and young adulthood that led to a life of chronic pain. And anyone out there that is dealing with or has dealt with chronic pain knows that it's really hard to live life when pain is dominating. And so from an early age, I had that experience, and I chose physical therapy as a profession and a way, first and foremost, to get myself out of pain. And then as I was working in that field, I, came to figure out, I'll say, like, what true healing is about. And it's not any one specific technique or one specific modality. It's a mindset, it's an understanding of our innate capabilities, and in the power of finding, all of the specific pieces of a puzzle that's unique to every individual. There's no protocol, there's no cookie cutting. You have to figure it out. And part of that is really going deep within and getting the answers from your body. And so that's what I do in the treatment room. I very much treat mind, body, spirit all together. My specific modality that I focus most with is John Barnes-based myofascial release. So I'm working within the connective tissue system of the body, which is like a three-dimensional spider web, which is uninterrupted from the top of the head to the bottom of the feet. And what I've come to understand after all these years is it's like a tape recorder of our entire life story. And so if we can access the fascia and really unearth what's been trapped within it, and very gently and lovingly remold that system, not in a manipulative way, but in a facilitating way, then life can change drastically. And so I love what I do in the treatment room. I really enjoy the process. I enjoy the meditative nature of working one-on-one very quietly with someone. And at the same time, I've been doing it for 25 years. And I have lots of different interests. And so I am kind of, ramping down that aspect of my life a little bit, and kind of ramping up the art piece, as well as some other things that I'm doing with my life.
So that was such a perfect segue, because I was about to ask you about, how people can find the art and what else you're up to and what you want them to know about your business. What else do you want to share about that?
Sure. Well, I just created the art website, PTavo.art, PTavo.art. I did that as a 50th birthday gift to myself. So it's only been out a few months, but I'd love for people to go check it out. I don't have much on there yet because, again, it is brand new. I only have completed 4 paintings, but I have several of my past ink pen drawings on there as well. It'll give you just kind of a little flavor for the abstract, kind of unique, I think, stuff that I'm letting flow through. In addition to art, I am a dad now. My husband and I started fostering our 2 children almost 3 years ago. And in a week and a half, we finalized that process with a full adoption. And so we're very excited to move on to this next phase of our family journey. And so, I've waited a long time to be a dad. And so I am carving out a lot of time and energy and flexibility to be exactly that, to be, a real incredibly engaged parent for our kids. And so that's exciting. And then the final, aspect of what I do is I've been working for the last 9 years with a nutrigenomics company. And if you've never heard that term before, nutrigenomics is the science of how very targeted nutrition impacts our gene expression. So basically, a way of optimizing the way our DNA functions, because we're all divine beings Sometimes our bodies just need a little bit of help. And so this is a totally different realm of health and wellness that not many people know about. People are familiar with the world of supplementation. This is the world of activation, like literally flipping the switches on our DNA. So that's the other, component of what I'm doing, and being love warrior-ish in the world.
Love warrior-ish. I love it. All right, you guys, one of the biggest missions here at Brave Healer Productions and every single book that we publish is to really help you live an extraordinary life. So no matter where you are on your journey, these books are going to help you answer that question, what else is possible? So Phil, lastly today, what's a simple stepping stone you'd like to share with the listeners that might help them start that journey of what else is possible? What do you want them to know today?
Yeah, well, what I put in my chapter as a practice is to just do a meditation, a short 5-minute meditation of really just setting the intention that you're going to reconnect with your inner child. All of us have our inner child within us. All children are artists. There's actually something I put in my chapter about a study that was done that showed that 98% of these 1,600 children that were tested on this NASA-based genius test were geniuses, 98% of them. So we all have that child within us. So I'd recommend to people, read the chapter, get the full concept of it. But even in the meantime, just set aside 5 minutes to connect with that genius child within, and then just allow some art to flow from that. It could just be a little ink pen doodle. It can be, stacking some stones. It can be whatever you want it to be. Just give yourself the permission to say, you know what? I actually am an artist. I'm just going to bring that back. That's my suggestion.
I love it. I love that suggestion. So you guys, if something that you heard Phil say today made you curious, or you have a question, or you need some support, or you're curious about the art, come on down to the show notes because his website is hooked up there for you, and you take a little click exploration, see all of the amazing art that he's created and the different things that he's up to. You're going to be able to connect with him on his website. And he's generously there for you to, carry on that conversation. So, Phil, thank you so much for what you do in the world and for being here today to share it with us.
Thank you. Thank you so much for everything you do, which is amazing and inspiring every day.
Thank you. You guys, we wanted to create a community, not just a book. And so you can come on down below as well, because I've got you linked up in different ways, but one of them is the Brave Healer Book Club. And you can rub elbows with our authors and ask those questions and carry on those conversations. So you can find the link to that group on Facebook down below. And you're also invited to join our live stream book launch party. That's going to be January 6th in the new year. That's going to be on the Brave Healer Productions Facebook page, which is hooked up below. I'm going to be with all of the co-authors of Love Warriors who are going to be there to share their wisdom and inspiration with you. And if you're listening anytime around that date, that also means you can head over to Amazon because the book is ready for you. And lastly, today, everybody, remember, your words change the world when you're brave enough to share them. So it's time to be brave. See you next time, everyone.